to do our working out. All right. So I think that Nima wanted to do number 1 for us. And can I see the first person who raises their hand? So using the raise hand button, first person who raises their hand is going to do number 2 for us. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Maria! Maria got her hand up faster. First off the mark this evening. Well done, Maria. Okay, Maria, you're going to do number 2 for us when we get there. All right. So, Nima, good evening. And
hello.
let's see how you go.
So first I added 6,06 with 3,99, and then I went 6 plus 9 is 15, so I carried over the 1, and then said 1 plus 9, which gave me 10, and carried over the 1 again. And then I said 1 plus 6 is 7 plus 3 equals 10, and that gave me 10,05. After that, I said 10,05 minus 4,73, and said 5 minus 3 gives me 2. And then I borrowed from the 1 at the end, and the 1 became 0. The 0 next to it became a 10. I borrowed from that, it became a 9. And then the 0 next to it became a 10. And then I said 10 minus 7 gave me 3. And then I said 9 minus 4 gave me 5.
Good.
And then I put the comma there.
And you put the comma in line. Awesome. Fabulous. Thank you so much, Nima. Okay. So for those of you who've just joined us, we're doing a couple of warm-up ones. And what I want you to notice when we're adding and subtracting decimals, if you have a look at our decimal comma, okay, they are all in line. So we've kept our comma all in line there when we're adding and subtracting. So they stay one underneath the other in a straight line. We don't move them around at all. Okay. So, and because we've got mixed operations, we've got an add and we've got a subtract, we need to do 2 separate sums. Okay. So first we need to add the adding ones together and then we subtract. All right. So that is how we do that one. Can I get a thumbs up if you managed to get that one right in the chat? So don't worry if you've only just arrived. Okay, so don't stress if you didn't get to do it because you've only just come on. Let's see how you managed to do. So you can give me a thumbs up in the chat or a thumbs down or a crying face or a laughing face or an exploding head. Let's see how you guys managed with that one. Okay, cool. I like those little mistakes. Those mistakes are awesome. As long as we know that they're little mistakes. Fabulous. Oh, guys, you don't need me. Maybe it's going to make it more difficult for the rest of the evening. And take away the adding and subtracting of decimals. We're going to just make it more difficult, hey? Okay, awesome. All right, so we're going to move on. And Maria is going to do the next one for us. So she's going to do 15% of 420. Oh, I didn't select anything. Right, 15% of 420. Maria, take it away.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, first I said 15 over 100 times 420 over 1, which gave me 6,300 over 100, which is also equals to 6. And then I divided the 6,300 by 100, which gave me 63 over 1 and is also equals to 63. And the answer is 63.
Good. So it gives me 63 over 1, which is 63. And my answer needs to be back into rands. So it is 63 rand. Okay, well done. That is fabulous. Okay, well done. Who managed to get that one right? Can we see? How do we go? Awam, have you got a question?
Ma'am, my teacher actually said that when it comes to ratios, cancel out the zeros. If there's 1 0 on top and there's another one at the bottom, and it cancels both of them out. So
That's perfect.
the way he does it.
Okay, so that is absolutely right. So when we're dividing, we can cancel out our zeros, and we can say that that 0 cancels with that 0, and that 0 cancels with that 0, and then we still have 63 over 1. So that's absolutely perfect. So what your teacher's doing is right. Both ways are correct. Okay, so remember, this is the most important thing about maths, hey guys, and it's for everyone to listen to. So if you forget everything else I say this evening, remember this thing. Okay, with maths, there are lots of different ways of doing the same thing, and the way that works for you, as long as you're getting it right, using it that way, is the way that you need to do it, because we all think in different ways and our brains all work in different ways. So your teacher might teach you a method that works for you, and that's cool, and I might teach you a different method. Both are right. Okay, just if your teacher wants you to do a specific method, then use that method, because then your teacher needs you to do that one. Okay, so those of you who didn't get this one right, if you can see where you went wrong, so I'm going to quickly go over a little bit of it with you. When we're multiplying, okay, we first multiply our numerators together, and you can use a calculator normally. So you multiply your numerators, and if you use a calculator, 15 times 420 gives us 6,300. And then you multiply your denominators together, and 100 times 1 is 100. And then our little line, our fraction line, so this sneaky little guy here, that actually means divide. Because if you look at a fraction, it looks a little bit like a divide, doesn't it? There's the divide sign. Okay, a fraction means divide. So this little line means that we have to divide the top by the bottom. Okay, so we say the top. So first we multiply the tops together, then we multiply the bottoms together, and then we divide. And that will give us our money that we've got. Okay, that will give us our question. So what we're going to do, if you haven't gotten this one right and you're not sure what I'm talking about, we did this on Wednesday last week. So you can go on the Watobe website after this lesson, anytime you like, and look for last week Wednesday's lesson and watch the lesson and try the exercises that we did in that lesson. Okay, all right. Gaps, you can, if you not wanting to look, I'll help you with that one out. There you go. Okay. All right. So are our brains warmed up, everyone? Hope we got some warm brains. I'll check it out. Warm brains.
Oh, yes, they are.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do 4 more to practice. I'm going to warm you up slowly. Okay. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and you are going to do these 4 on the board. Okay. So 5 minutes to do the ones that are on the board. Write your answers down on paper, and we'll go through it after that. Owen, your hand is up, my love.
I'm sorry, ma'am, that is from before.
Oh, is that from before? Okie dokie. I'll pop it down for you. Oh, it's down already. Great. Okay. So we're doing these 4 that are on the board. Hi, Tisha. Okay. Owen is doing number 1. Okay, so Anati do all of them here. Claudie's doing D. Before I forget, don't worry about being late, Tertia. I'm glad you made it.
Can I do B?
Bali's doing B. And then Jerome, did you want to do one?
Oh, yes, please, ma'am.
Okay, so Jerome, you can do C for us. And Jerome. Okay, not Nombolelo. If your name is not Nombolelo, then you can just tell us what your name is in the chat. Okay, and then we'll change it for you. Okay, we've got another 2 minutes. There and thereabouts, 2 minutes. That's awesome. Hope you're going to have a head start for next term when you do your decimals if you haven't done them yet already. Hello, Beware. Police one's done already. Fabulous. Jerome?
Should we get a book, like a book that we use all the time to write all the calculation?
If you can, that's probably a good idea because then you know everything's in one place.
All right, I have one.
Otherwise, just paper that you keep in a flip file in a plastic sleeve is also fine.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So let me just transfer all these.
Okie dokie. Okay, I've got people doing all the different numbers for me for this one, and then I'll pick some people for later. Okay. All right, I think we're going to start going through these. That's the good stuff. So Awam is doing the first one for us. Can everyone else mute? So only Awam must be unmuted. Okay. All right. So Awam.
I was just struggling with decimals, but hopefully I'll get some.
Okay, so what am I doing?
Ma'am must write them in the column method, which is 1.
Yeah.
Plus, ma'am, I usually add a 0 if there's nothing in front of it.
Good.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so we can add a 0 if there's nothing in that column. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Then 6, 0, 3, 2.
And then I'm going to add 0 so I don't lose my place. All right. Okay. So remember, guys, so sorry, I'm going to just interrupt with the one. So remember, if we have columns that don't have anything in, with decimals, we can just add a 0 on the end and it won't make any difference. Okay. So we just add a 0 on the end for decimals as a placeholder. All right. Carry on.
Ma'am, 0 plus 0 plus 2 is going to be 2.
Okay.
4 plus 0 plus 30 is going to be 7.
Good.
3 plus 5 plus 3 is going to be 8. Comma 11.
11. So 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 1 is 11. And so we end up with 11,872. Very, very good. Well done. Good job.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well done. Okay. So I hope you're seeing, I hope that you're seeing what we've done there. So we're adding just like we normally add, and we're subtracting, we just subtract just like we normally subtract, except that we keep our commas. So like we did the previous one, our commas are all in one long row like that. We don't change their places at all. We just keep the commas in line, and that helps us work it out. Okay. Let's have a look at the next one. B, we had Mbali, or Eminem Mbali doing it for us. Right. Take it away, my darling.
So what you do is you use the column matrix. So then you say 9,4, and you can add a 0 at the end, and 5,331. So 0 plus 1 is 1. 4 plus 3 is 7, comma 9 plus 5 is 14.
14,71. Well done. Excellent. And there we are finished. Okay. So it's exactly the same as when we are adding normally. We just keep our commas all in lines. We just put the commas back exactly where they were. All right. Thank you very much, Mbali. That is awesome. Okay. Let's see. Jerome, you are on for C.
Okay, 7,45 over 3,64. Okay, 5 minus 4 equals 9. 4 minus 6 equals 10, which is 0.
Oh, hold on. Minus.
Okay, 5 minus 4 equals 9.
Are you sure?
Oh, this is minus. Oh, I didn't even see that.
I thought so. Okay, so let's go. So 5 minus 4 is?
No. Okay, it's fine. I can do
You can do this one.
Okay, 5 minus 4 equals 1. Okay, 4 minus 6, you can't. So 7 carry over to the 4, which is 14. 14, that will be 7, 14. So that will remain the 1. No.
So 14 minus 6 is?
Sorry,
8.
just quickly.
That's okay. I know. Monday evenings. Okay, so 14 minus 6 is 8. Okay. And then where do we go?
I'm still there. Sorry, I was quickly calculating. Okay,
No worries. All good.
7 minus 3. Are we on 7? Okay, comma, and then 7 minus 3. That will be 6, 5, 4, 4.
Just hold on. Remember you borrowed
5.
1 from the 7. So we borrowed 1 from the 7. So can you see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So remember we borrowed from the 7. We borrowed 1 for the 4 to make 14. So now we have 6 left out of the 7. So we've got 6 minus 3, which is?
3, sorry.
3. Well done. Good. Can I just say that is remarkably done to come back from that, because I know how much it can throw us when we get the sign mixed up. And then to do it on live with everyone listening, that is really impressive. So well done for doing it so unflustered. Good job. Okay, I would have been really flustered there. So well done. So we end up with 3,81. Okay, so good job, Jerome. Okay, this is actually a really good tip that I taught my kids in class. When you are doing a test or anything, highlight the sign so that you know exactly, so you can remember what the sign is that you're doing. Okay, so in the question, highlight it so that you remember, oh, it's minus, I need to subtract here. Okay, So that's something I just taught my kids with their last test as well, because it's very useful to know. Claudie.
Ma'am.
Right, you next.
So, ma'am, what I've done, ma'am, actually this one is a tricky one, but I managed to do it.
Good.
So I said 2,14 plus 3,2, so it's 2,14 and then 3,2 and then you put a magic 0
Good.
and then 4 plus 0 is 4 and then 1 plus 2 is 3, comma 2 plus 3 is 5,
Okay.
minus 8.
So I've got to say 5 minus 8.
No, ma'am. We're gonna minus by 8. So I think we're gonna put 8 under the units.
We are. And then what can we put under the, what can we put after the comma?
A 0?
Yeah. You can put 2 zeros because you got 2 zeros, you got 2 decimal places there.
Yeah.
So we can pop 2 zeros there.
And then we say 0 minus 4, which it can't. And then we take next door, which it can't still. And then we cancel 8. And then 7. And then we put 1 there. And then it's 10. And then we cancel 9. And then we carry that other one. And then it's 6 answer.
Good. Okay.
And then you say 9 minus 3. It's 6. Comma. 7 minus 5 is 2. And then our final answer is 2,66.
Good. Okay. Now, so what you've done is I actually want to check that I'm going to get the same answer. You should get the same answer. I just want to double check because I did a bit of a different way. Yeah, you're going to get a different answer. So what you've done there is, have you used BODMAS?
Ma'am, actually, I did not do it this way.
Didn't you do it this way?
No.
Which way did you do it?
I actually did it this way since when I got 5,38, I actually put 8 under 4.
Ah, okay. All right. So I'm gonna jump in here because this was a tricky one and I put it in on purpose. Okay. Because I figured it was going to be slightly tricksy. So well done on giving it a good shot. Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
this is where I want everybody's brain switched on, thinking caps working. Okay. Remember, when we've only got addition and subtraction, we work from left to right. Okay. So our first thing we have to do is we have to subtract. So the first thing we do is we do our subtraction. So just like you said, Claudie, we're going to do 8,00, okay, because we've got 8 units. 8,00 minus 2,14. And we're going to work this out, okay? So we can't do that. So we have to borrow, but we can't borrow. So we go from 8 comes to 7. That's going to become a 9. We have 10 minus 4 is 6. 9 minus 1 is 8. 7 minus 2 is 5. And now we can add 3,2. So plus 3,2, and I can put a 0 down. That's going to help me say my columns. Plus 0 is 6. 8 plus 2 is 10. So put down my 0, carry my 1. 5 plus 3 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. And I get 9,06. Okay. So do you see how we get a different answer if we work it out from left to right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're working with mixed operations and it's only addition and subtraction, you have to go from left to right. So you must do whichever sign comes first. That's the operation you do first. Okay. Okay. Your hand is up, my darling. What did you want? Did you want to ask something?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I just wanted to ask for the BODMAS thing. And isn't subtraction supposed to be the last thing?
So if there's lots and lots of different things that you have to do, then yes, subtraction is the last thing. But when it's only subtraction and addition, then you have to go from left to right. Okay. So it just doesn't rhyme. It doesn't rhyme, which is why we don't say it, because you can't really say BODMAS. Could be a bit weird. So we call it BODMAS, but when you've only got addition and subtraction, then you go from left to right, just like that. Okay.
Ma'am, thank you.
Pleasure.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, what if your teachers told you not to use BODMAS ever, ma'am? Because, ma'am, that's what at Cura they told us, ma'am.
To not ever use BODMAS.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you're going to need to follow your teacher's instructions. But when it's addition and subtraction, you always go left to right. So there you're not going to use BODMAS, you're just going to go left to right always. Okay, so it's order of operations. Always, whichever one comes first with addition and subtraction, that's what you do first. Okay. All right. Tisha?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask if you can explain B again.
B? Sure. Which part of B?
Before when you got your answer.
Okay, so when we're working with B, remember we're adding. Okay, so let's highlight the adding. Okay, so we said we put them all underneath each other. So the units go with the units in a column. So the units are together. Then our tenths are together. Hey, where's my highlighters gone? Our tenths are all together. And then our units go together, all underneath each other. Now, when we had 9,4, I didn't have any hundredths. So because I've got no hundredths, I can just put a 0 in there as a placeholder. Okay, so Claudia called it a magic 0. So some people call it a magic 0, other people call it a placeholder, whatever you want to call it. You can put as many zeros in a row as you want when it comes to decimals. And then we can add like we would normally add. So 0 plus 1 is 1, 4 plus 3 is 7, and 9 plus 5 is 14. And that's how we got our answer. Okay.
Thanks, ma'am.
Pleasure, my darling. Okay, Asmashle.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask for number D. When you have a sum like that, do you use BODMAS or you work from the left to right?
For a sum like?
D.
D, you work from left to right. So when you only have addition and subtraction left, you go from left to right. Okay, always.
Thank you.
Okay. Olarata and Awatile? Your hands are up.
Ma'am, please explain D.
D, sure. Okay. So remember, because we've got two operations, we have to go from left to right. Okay, so we're going to have to work from left to right. We can't just do whichever one we want first, because then we get different answers. So we're going to start off with, let me just find a good pen to work with. So we have to start off with this operation first. Okay, so first we have to say 8 minus 2,14. But now we've got a bit of a problem because there's nothing next to the 8 where I've got the 14. So what I can do is I can just put 0, 0. Okay, because that means I've got no leftovers. I've got no remainders. So I can pop a 0, 0 over there. And now I can subtract. Okay, now I do my subtraction sum like I normally would. My comma just goes back underneath the rest of the commas. And I'm just going to do the shortcuts quickly, because I can't remember what the answer was. And 9 minus 1 is 8, and 7 minus 2 is 5. Okay, so now I've done step A. So this is part A. I've done the subtraction. Now I need to do the next bit. Okay, the next bit is we're now going to add this to it. Okay. Now we're going to add the next bit. So I'm just going to add it on the bottom. And because I've got nothing next to the 2, I can just pop a 0 there. And that's going to help me because I've got a magic 0. Okay. And now I can add. All right. All right, Tita, does that help you? Okay. I think they're chatting at home. Sebastian?
Hi, ma'am. Could ma'am please explain the column method since I don't understand it so well?
Okay, when you're adding any numbers together, what method do you use?
I usually break the numbers up.
Okay, so if you normally break the numbers up, you can do that. If that's the method that works for you, then you can do that method. Okay, so if this is very new for you and your teachers never ever use this method, then that's fine. Then you use the method that you work with at school that you're comfortable with. All right.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, because I don't want you to learn a brand new method now that confuses you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Letabo?
Ma'am, can you please do A again?
A. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So A is an adding sum. Oh, hello. A is an adding sum. So all we're doing is we're putting the numbers underneath each other in a column. Where we don't have anything in the column, we're putting down zeros as placeholders. Okay, so that we don't forget. Because we want to keep our commas all in a straight line. So our commas must all go in a straight line there. And then we're just going to add as normal. So 0 plus 0 plus 2 is 2. 4 plus 0 plus 3 is 7. And 3 plus 5 plus 0 is 8. I'm going to put my comma down. And then when I add this side, I've got 1 plus 4, which is 5. And 5 plus 6 is 11. And there I end up with 11. Okay. Letabo, do you understand why we've got the extra zeros there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pleasure. Bopelo?
I'd like to ask about.
You okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you got a question?
Yes. I got
Okay,
a question. I got a question on number D.
Yeah.
How do you calculate it?
You're going to, with calculating it,
Yes.
if you use column method, you're first going to do the subtraction. So you're going to say that 8 minus 2.14. Okay. So you're going to do subtract to get your answer for that. And then you do the second part, which is your adding of the 3,2. Okay. And then you add them onto your answer. Okay. So it's a two-part problem. So first you have to do the subtraction, then you can do the addition afterwards. All right. Okay. Yes. Guys, I'm going to move on quickly. Let's have you got a question still?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'd like to ask, ma'am, is it always necessary to put the commas, ma'am?
If you don't put the commas, then you run the risk of forgetting to put them in your answer.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
So this is what this really is. If this was money, it would be 9 Rand and 6 cents. And if you don't put your comma, it's 906 Rand. Very different.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Don't know about you, but I'd rather have 906 Rand. I'd be very surprised if someone gave me 9 Rand and 6 cents instead of 906 Rand. Okay, so
yes,
the comma is a small little thing, but it's really, really important. Okay, so keep your commas in so that you don't forget them later. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Guys, do you want to have a quick stand up and stretch before we move on? Because I want your brains to be nice and fresh. We're going to move on to multiplying decimals.
Yep.
Okay, so stand up and have a stretch and a wiggle if you need to.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, you want.
Okay. Olerato and Ortile, are your hands still up? Are you happy? Do you understand what you didn't understand before, my loves?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to lower your hands for you then. Okay. Nombolelo, have you still got a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, can I please have the first screen because I was late, ma'am?
Sorry, what was that?
Ma'am, can I please have the first screen because I was late?
Are you, don't worry if there's, don't worry about being late. We're just adding and subtracting decimals for now. And then we're going to have a look at multiplying decimals. Okay, so have a look at the screen and see if there's anything you don't understand. And then you can go back and watch the beginning of the lesson. It'll be up by Wednesday, and then you can go back and have a look. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Varona, pleasure, Nombolelo. Varona, your hand is up.
Teacher Rebecca, so last week I wasn't here because of my Wi-Fi thingy problem. So I didn't do the what's the thing? The quiz.
Okay. So you can try after.
Yes, but like I don't know how to get it because like it doesn't show.
Okay, so I'll have to see if Teacher Cat can troubleshoot that. So give us until the end of the lesson and we'll see if we can figure it out for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Pleasure, my darling. All right.
Me too, ma'am. I wasn't here last week for the quiz test.
Okay, so then you can probably find it under last week's lesson. There should be a quiz button. But I'll have to see. I'm not sure how long the button stays there for. Okay. All right. We are going to move on. So pop your hands down for now. You can ask a question in the chat if you have a question. We are going to have a look at multiplying decimals. Okay. Now, there's quite a cool trick to multiplying decimals. Okay. When we multiply decimals, our first thing that we do is we look at our sum and we see how many decimal places there are altogether in my sum. So if I look, I've got 3,42. So here I've got 2 decimal places. And then I'm timesing it by 2,1. So the 2,1 is 1 decimal place. So altogether in this sum, I've got 3 decimal places. Okay, that's what my 3DP stands for. It's 3 decimal places. So what I do when I'm writing down my sum is I write down 342 times 21, and next to it I write 3DP because I want to remember that I need 3 decimal places. Okay, so I look to see how many I need. Okay, then I throw away my commas. Okay, I throw away my commas, get rid of them completely, chuck them away. We don't like them anymore. And I work out my multiplication. Okay, so Aziza, are you with me? Aziza's tired. Aziza's with me. All right, so I know I've got 3 decimal places because I had in my original sum, I had 3.42 and 2 times 1. So 4, 2, and 1 are my 3 decimal places. Okay, so now I can just multiply 342 by 21. So you can do this on your own or you can follow with me. But 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times, well, 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. And then I be a hero and I add a 0 because I'm multiplying by the tens column. And I say 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. And my next step is I add them together. So normal multiplication rules apply. 2 plus 0 is 2. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. Put down my 1, carry my 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. And now I look again, how many decimal places do I need? I need 3 decimal places. So I count 1, 2, 3. And all I do then is go, thank you, Mr. Decimal Comma. put him back in. And there's my answer. Okay. Who's mamming?
Ma'am, it's me.
Okay, me?
Isn't it supposed to be 7082?
Why?
Because 8 plus 3. Oh.
Got it.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Okay. So tell me, you can keep yourself on mute, but I want you to go through the steps with me. Step 1. How many decimal places are there altogether in my sum? Step 2, write it down. Okay, very important. So step 1, how many decimal places are there in my sum? Step 2, write it down. Okay. Step 3, throw away your commas and multiply the way you normally multiply. And then number 4, put your decimal comma back in for the correct number of decimal places. Okay. So number 1, look at how many decimal places there are altogether. Write it down. That's step 2. Step 3, get rid of your commas, times your numbers together. Step 4, put your comma back in, leaving the right number of decimal places. Okay, so it's really not that tricky once you remember all the steps. Okay, so if you need to quickly write down the steps, you don't have to write them word for word. Write down the steps for me, and then I'm going to give you some to do for me. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to erase the black highlighter so you can see. I'm going to leave the steps up for you for a little bit so that you can see what you're doing, or at least the first one. Okay, and so step 1, how many decimal places do you need? So how many decimal places are there in A, Nombolelo? Nombolelo. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 4 DP, 4 decimal places. Okay. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do as many of these as you can. Okay, so 5 minutes. I'm going to make these bigger so you can see it easier. 5 minutes.
Ma'am.
Okay, so I'm going to repeat. Let's do another one together.
Ma'am.
Let's do it together. Who's mamming me?
Ma'am, it's ready.
Okay, Slody.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, how did you get the 4 decimal places?
Because altogether in my sum, if I look at the number of decimal places I've got, there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
So, ma'am, eventually you look at the numbers that are on the right-hand side next to the comma.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. So for my decimal places, it's the number of places next to my decimal comma. Okay. And then I multiply. Oh, this is a mean one to give you this first one. It's a long one. Okay, and then we're going to multiply as we normally multiply. So we're going to say 451 times 324. This is going to take us a while. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Put down my 0, carry my 2. 4 times 4 is 16, 17, 18. Put down a 0. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. And then I'm going to put down 2 zeros because now I'm working in the hundreds column. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry another 1. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. And now I add. 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 0 is 2. 8 plus 3 is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 9 is 11. Plus 5 is 16. 1 plus 3 is 4, and 1 plus nothing is 1. That's a long one, guys. And then I need 4 decimal places, so that's a 4 there. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to put my comma in there, and I'm going to end up with 14,6124. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one there.
Ma'am?
Yes. Who's mammy?
Me, ma'am. Can you explain it again?
I can't hear you.
Can you explain it again, ma'am?
Okay, so this is a long one, which is why it looks so complicated. Okay,
Yes.
but we're multiplying 3 numbers, 3 digits by 3 digits. So we're remembering how many decimal places we got. 1,
Because
2.
with some you must direct message her.
You can direct message if you don't understand something. So just mute yourself, guys. So when we are first step, work out how many decimal places we've got. That's number 1. Number 2, we're going to multiply. That's step 2. Multiply. Step 3, count how many decimal places we need. So that's step 3 there. Step 4, put your comma back into your answer. Okay. So try with B, because B is a bit easier. It's not such a lot of multiplying. A is a lot of multiplying. Didn't think that one through when I said that one. Okay, so just try it. So even if you don't understand it, try. Okay. The decimal place just tells us how many places we need to leave in our answer. Okay.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, you see, ma'am, ma'am, over here when you say 4 times 3, isn't it gonna be 13?
Yeah.
Ma'am, but you wrote 18.
No, that was for the 4 times 4, and I had a 2 remainder that I carried on. So remember we started the units column always. So we started with here. So you said 4 times 1, 4 times 5, 4 times 4. That's this line. Okay. Then we move on to the tens. Then we move on to the hundreds.
Oh, okay, ma'am. I don't
Okay. All right. I'm going to choose. Yeah, it's just like multiplication with column method. It's exactly like that. And then we just chuck our we just stick our comma back in at the end. Okay, Jerome, do you want to answer one for us? Do you want to do B for us?
Yes. Yes, I did. Should we do it now? Because I was
Let's
waiting.
do it now.
Okay.
I think let's do it now.
Wait, I
right.
don't want to try to do it.
Okay, so take it away, Jerome. Have you done it?
No, I thought we were still doing the thing. That's why I was asking, should we use...
Oh, no, you must do B. So everyone do at least B for me quickly.
Because I thought we were still doing A. That's why I asked, can we please move on?
No, move on. Yeah, do the rest. Yeah. So as soon as you understand, you carry on going. Yeah. So everyone's busy at least with B.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you please explain number 1 again?
Oh no.
But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to explain number 1 because it's actually a horrible one. I shouldn't have given you that one. It's a really difficult one. It's a huge number to multiply. So let's wait until we do B. And if you still don't understand with B, then I'll go through B again slowly. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Six times 9 is 24 now. No.
And everyone just check that they are muted, please. So just check that you're muted so we can concentrate nicely. Someone is unmuted, please mute. Mimi, we'll talk about holiday classes in a second. Okay, I'm going to go to B quickly. All right, so everybody else is muted. And I'm going to go through B. So if you're not muted, then we're going to mute you. Okay. So please make sure that you're muted. All right. So our first step is to figure out how many decimal places we're going to need in our answer. And we're going to need 1 and 2. So we're going to write down 2 decimal places because we've got 2 decimal places in the sum. So our answer has to have 2 altogether. Okay. So we just look at how many numbers come after the commas. And there's 2 numbers after the commas. So that's how many numbers must come after the comma in our answer. Okay. So step 1, how many decimal places does my answer need? Step 2, write it down. Step 3, throw away the commas and work out the multiplication. Okay, so I'm going to work out 67 times 39. Okay, so 67 times 39, 9 times 7 is 63. This is where knowing your times tables helps. 9 times 6 is 54, plus 6 is 60. Now I put down a 0 because I'm multiplying by the tens column. My 30 is the tens column, so I put down a 0 for the tens column. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 gives me 20. And then I add, so this is all straightforward multiplying. 3 plus 0 is 3. 0 plus 1 is 1. 6 plus 0 is 6. Nothing plus 2 is 2. And we said we needed 2 decimal places. So we're going to see 1, 2. And that's where we're going to put our comma, is right in between there. And we end up with 26,13. Okay. Does that make a teeny tiny little bit of sense?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. It's a bit easier when you don't have such big numbers, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I know the big numbers were quite big numbers. I shouldn't have given you such a big one to start with. Okay.
No, ma'am.
All right. Guys, I'm going to stop here for now. And we're going to carry this on Wednesday. So we're going to pick this up on Wednesday and carry on. And I'm going to hand over to Teacher Kat to tell you a little bit about the holiday club that's going to be running. Everyone else needs to be muted, please, guys, so that we can hear what Teacher Kat's got to say. And we've got a holiday club coming up, which is very exciting. But we still have a lesson next week, which is on Wednesday, actually. And we have lessons next week. Okay, so I know that there's some of you finished school this week already. But we're going to carry on until next week, Wednesday. Okay. So Teacher Kat, can I hand over to you?
No.
Yes,
Thank you.